Hi there. In this video we'll be covering, can I write a book with no experience? It's definitely possible to write a book with no experience, but better than that, I'll show you how to write a good book, like a pro. By the end of this video you will learn how to unlock your unique message, how to build your book's foundation, and how a coach or ghostwriter could help you finish your book. And stay tuned until the end of the video for a free opportunity. Let's dive in. Off the top, I want to answer the question posed in the title of this video. Can I write a book with no experience? The answer is undoubtedly yes. I have worked and collaborated with lots of authors who wrote and published a book on their first go, and they had no book writing experience and they made it happen. But it's not easy. And looking at the experiences they faced and the struggles and the challenges, I definitely think there's some important lessons to be able to glean from them, and tips I want to impart to you to make sure that you don't face some of the same issues they faced. The first step to writing a book is understanding your unique message, understanding what you and only you can say to the world, understanding why your vantage point is the one worth sharing, understanding why your story matters. Everybody has a story. I've been told that before. When I worked at a newspaper in southern New Jersey, we actually had a weekly column, Everybody Has a Story. It was kind of hokey, but it was an important thing to be able to say that, and I think it's very true. Everybody has a story. You have a story. You have a story worth telling. Even if it's the one that you downplay and you haven't shared a lot. You have a story, you have a unique message, and it's up to you to be able to filter it out and understand exactly what that message is. And understanding your goals is going to help you figure out what you want to say. If you want to establish yourself as a business leader, you're not going to write a book about arts and crafts necessarily. You're going to write a book about business leadership and, coming into your own as a CEO. The arts and crafts book is going to be better if you're wanting to establish yourself in that space. So understanding your goals with the book is going to help you figure out exactly what you want to say. Once you unlock your message and figure out exactly what you want to say, it's important to do foundation work. Lots of authors I work with struggle along, they do lots of writing, they just churn along with tons and tons of essays and unfocused little drafts. But there's no thread pulling it all together. You really need that thread. You need that through line. Not to say that the book can't jump around, but who is the book for? And what are they going to learn from it? What do you want them to carry forward in their life once they read this book? How do you want to change and transform their life from reading your book? That really comes down to hook, outline, and audience work. Those are the three foundational steps of any good book. Once you figure out the foundation and unlock those pieces, unlock those elements, you need to be able to make the book a priority. There's so many times where an author will be so excited at the beginning of the process. They'll be so excited to start writing the book, and you could be in this area right now. You're just so excited. You're making this a commitment. You're making this a priority. And then life gets in the way, and then you put the book aside, and then you stop making progress on it. I've worked with people who just had a great book in mind, and they started working on it, and then they just dropped off, and they just couldn't continue. There was other things in the way. Life will get in the way if you let it, so it's important to make the book a priority, whether that's 1 to 2 hours a week, whether that's blocking out your calendar every Monday at 10 a.m. so you can work on the book, whether that's doing writing on the train ride home. Whatever the case may be, you need to be able to make this a priority and commit to it and keep to it. I've done so many things in my life where I was excited to do them, and then I said, I don't want to go to the gym today, so I don't go to the gym. And then the next week happens, and the next week, and you're like, oh, I haven't been to the gym in a month or 2 months. That's a problem. You really need to understand how to make a commitment and stick with it. The most valuable way that I've seen people make a commitment and stick with it is by unlocking the next step, unlocking the reason for them writing the book. Why are you writing your book? What do you want to accomplish? What are your goals for writing your book? Is it to become a very successful business leader? Is it to promote yourself? Is it to establish your career? Is it establish a hobby? Is it to leave a legacy for your family? Until you unlock the purpose and the reason for writing the book, you're going to struggle to commit to it. It's really about seeing the bigger picture goals. Maybe it's even just to challenge yourself, to do something big, to do something great. Whatever it is, you need to understand what that next step is for you, what you want to accomplish through the book, because until you do so, you're not going to make the book the priority it needs to be. Once you understand what you want to accomplish with the book and what your goals are, then you can start to figure out maybe potentially having help in the writing of that book. Maybe you know that you want to be that next level business leader, but you're not going to be able to write this on your own because you don't have the time, or you don't have the writing skill to be able to carry the book forward yourself. It's great to be able to recognize the skills and limitations we all have, and then to accordingly surround yourself with experts to help you along the way. Book ghostwriters and book coaches are great support systems, great helpers in this capacity. I myself, as a book ghostwriter and a writing coach, have helped dozens, if not hundreds of authors to achieve their goals. It's an awesome feeling to be able to help people along and to recognize that they would have not finished their book without my help or without the help of somebody like me. That this book was beyond them, and to be able to get them there. I've had calls with my clients where they're just crying thankful, and being able to see that emotion, being able to recognize that and to recognize the value I bring to them, it makes me feel special as a ghostwriter. It makes me feel this deeper sense of purpose in what I do, that this isn't just a job, this is something bigger. Something bigger is at play here, and it's great to be able to help people cross that bridge and get to the other side of that, to help people achieve their dreams. That's what this book is really about. This book is about helping you achieve your dreams. This isn't just, I'm writing a book to write a book. Coaches are really accountability partners. They're people who typically will meet with an author frequently, share ideas and input. As somebody who is, entering this, maybe not as used to writing, it's great to have somebody helping you along the way. Even if you're a great writer, they can help infuse the right level of care and attention to your book, help you build the structure in the right way, help you write a book that's going to connect. A ghostwriter, on the other hand, is somebody who guides the writing themselves. They will meet with you typically weekly or every other week and do the writing and then send you the writing for review. But either way, recognizing, again, going back to purpose, recognizing the purpose of the book and recognizing how this aligns with your goals will then help you understand the need to bring in other people to tell the best story possible. It's not like you can just put out any old book, a bad book, a poorly written book, a structurally unsound book, and accomplish your goals. No, you need to actually write a book that's going to connect and have a deeper meaning and empower people to act based on the book. This ties back to all that foundational work. You really need to understand the purpose, you need to do the foundation work, and you need to surround yourself with people who can help you see this through. And if your purpose is deep enough, you'll be inclined to want to work with those people to help guide this forward. It's not about the pride thing. I know that some people avoid working with a ghostwriter because they want to do the writing themselves. But if you want to tell the strongest message possible that's going to help you take the next step in your dreams, working with a ghostwriter isn't as big of a thing. Even the money. A lot of times established ghostwriters like myself might cost $30,000 or more for a ghostwriting project. If you are dead set on fulfilling the purpose and getting to the next step in your life, that price might be something that you're willing to pay. But it really depends because, there's a lot of factors that come into play with bringing people on, and obviously cost is one of them, writing skills one of them, commitment's one of them. So it's important as you consider that process to really weigh all those factors and figure out what's most important for you, but what's going to help you achieve your goals. Maybe you only need writing coaching support. Maybe you just need some accountability and some structural support. Maybe you need full ghostwriting support. It's great to be able to unlock the power of your book, and there's so many ways to get there. When I think about writing a book, I see it as a commitment to consistency, a commitment to doing the right job again and again and again, of seeing the bigger picture. You're somebody who sees the bigger picture because you're putting all these things together into a book. It's an awesome, powerful thing. But again, it's really about doing it right. I've seen people who have written their books with ChatGPT and just published something along. I've seen people who've just slapped the cover on something and posted it on Amazon. This is about something bigger, and ultimately, it's not just enough to just put a book out there. Maybe you use ChatGPT to write it. I've seen lots of those manuscripts. They don't resonate. They don't connect. They don't have an impact. You want this book to have an impact with whatever you want to accomplish with it. You want it to help you achieve your goals, and you can't achieve those goals without writing a great book. A great book is within you. A great book really is. Even if there are gaps, even if there are things that you think you're not good at, even if there are issues with your message, that's where you can bring in people to help those things, to help refine those things, to help understand those things and unlock those things. It's so special for me when I can meet with an author and over the course of a couple meetings, figure out their story, figure out what they want to say and figure out the best way to say it and how that's going to carry their message forward. I can do the same for you too. Just head to my website, goodghostwriter.com. You can click the link below. There you can schedule a call with me. I'd love to have a strategy call with you to talk about your message, talk about the issues you're facing as you embark on this journey, and maybe how I can help guide you forward, how I can help provide coaching or ghostwriting support. Whatever the case may be, I'm happy to talk it through and guide you in the right direction. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.